No, we didn't plan this. Hello, listeners. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tori.
So, whale cheese.
Unfiltered.
Yeah.
We're unfiltered. That's the point of our podcast.
Hence whale cheese, which is it's the beginning of the subject today.
Yep.
So, this is a retelling / reenactment, I guess, of something that happened a while back.
It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And it started with us discussing that whales were mammals.
As so many horrible discussions do.
Yeah. To which one of us, probably me, but I don't entirely remember, went, hey, if they're mammals, that means milk. Milk means cheese. Whale cheese.
Whale cheese.
And so we started discussing whale cheese, not in depth or anything, just like, yeah, that's a thing that could exist. And then I started listing off a bunch of other kinds of weird animal cheese.
Yeah.
Like platypus cheese.
Apparently they do actually sell camel cheese, though.
Well, that's crazy.
Right?
And like moose cheese and cat cheese and... yeah. And at some point you told me to stop, and then I went, wait, I got one more for you. Bear cheese.
Bear cheese. And I would actually be interested in trying bear cheese. Because, like, what the heck? You know, it's crazy. It's a crazy idea that should not be, but it could be.
Also, like, good luck milking a bear. But, like, if you can manage it, and by the way, this is not us saying that you should go try that. Do not try this at home. Yeah. You will probably get mauled by a bear if you try to milk a bear.
Don't milk bears.
But, like, yeah. So then we're like, well, technically you could have bear cheese.
Yeah, and then you could also make bear burgers.
Yeah, bear burgers with bear cheese, because bear meat is something that's, not commonly eaten, but not uncommonly either. It's eaten. It's a food.
Yeah, you can get bear meat.
Yeah, you can.
And you can have a bear cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, how else further could we take this? We could, bears are relatively trainable. Hence, you see bear acts in, like, old school circuses and whatnot.
Yeah.
We are not proponents of that.
No.
But it does happen. And so you could theoretically train the bears to farm all the other ingredients of your burgers.
As well as their own food.
Yeah.
So, like, theoretically, you could train them to, like, I don't know, run a salmon hatchery and grow berries, as well as, like, lettuce and tomatoes and...
Well, I feel like a bear burger should definitely have some berries in it.
Yeah? Have kind of, like, maybe a berry compote on it or something?
Maybe. Or just be filled with, like, dried, like, blackberries or something.
Ooh, that could actually be really interesting.
That wasn't part of the original conversation, by the way. That was new and unscripted.
Oh yeah, part of this is definitely going to be new things that are coming to mind as we're talking about it. But yeah, and then we had the thought of, well, you'd have to oversee the bears.
Yeah, which could be really dangerous. So you should set other bears to, like, you train them to watch over the other bears.
We also then started to realize some of the ethical ramifications of what is essentially bear slavery.
Yeah, don't... this is not an ethics podcast, I swear.
It's also not a food podcast.
Or a slavery podcast. Slavery is bad.
Yeah. And how, like, literally these bears would be farming the ingredients for the burgers they are to someday become. Which is a little bit of a dark thought, frankly. Right? Like, how would you feel if, you were literally out in the fields growing the lettuce that would someday adorn a burger made of your meat?
I mean, I feel like it's less wasteful than our current funerary practices, but...
Well, yeah.
It's not my preference.
But if you weren't choosing to be there, it's like, yes, farm the ingredients for your burger.
The burger made of your flesh.
Yeah. But then, like, if we had trained the bears that well, then is there the possibility, of course, that they could get smarter, basically, and realized that what was being done to them was cruel and wrong. And bear revolution. Bear uprising?
Bear uprising.
Bear uprising.
Not a revolution, it's not a government.
No, that's true. Not yet.
Yes. But then, of course, what would happen with these newly freed bears is they would set up their own government. And what does a bear government look like?
Yeah. See, at first we're like, hey, bears are usually, like, pretty cool and probably, you know, would have a very, you know, probably socialist or communist government. You know, something where everyone's kind of helping each other out and is all... And then we looked it up.
No. We looked it up. They would not.
Turns out bears are pretty solitary, and when they do come together, a lot of them are kind of territorial and end up with like a, you know, hierarchy dependent on who's the strongest. So, like, they would probably have bear capitalism.
I mean, I'm not sure it would be exactly bear capitalism. I think it was... We had determined that they would basically live in a society where the strongest bear is the ruler, and to become the new ruler, you just have to beat the previously strongest bear.
Yeah. Which, frankly, is an interesting way to run a government. Like, if someone could literally become president by just punching out the current one. And then, like, oh, well, I guess this guy's in charge now.
It's the political equivalent of might makes right.
Absolutely. Which, you know, is probably not the most civilized way to form a government, but it's interesting, right?
Certainly. Although you have to wonder as well about, like, the international politics, right?
Yeah. Because the bears probably wouldn't take over the whole world, just like, you know, an area. So, like, would they be integrated in? Would they be like, would the rest of the world go to war against the bears?
I mean, I don't see why not. Why they would. Like, it's just
a group of bears.
It's just a group of bears.
But it is a group of bears that have shown the capability of overthrowing a human-based society, which in and of itself seems dangerous.
I suppose it would, like, I don't know, what does bear diplomacy look like?
I really don't know.
Are they just gonna, like, you know, bear smack the other, like, diplomats?
Is that considered a good thing? Is that how they greet each other?
Right? So, like, what... Oh, gosh. Like, this is getting into the, like, societal norms of a bear society.
Honestly, for the most part, they'd all pretty much keep to themselves, have their own little territories, you know. There'd be a lot of absent fathers in a bear society. Because they don't stick around to help raise the cubs.
Oh, yeah.
So the bear society would literally be full of single mothers and, like, roving males.
I wonder.
Huh.
Would a bear society be matriarchal?
I don't know. I suppose if it's, you know, a might makes right kind of thing, that really just depends on who's stronger, which bears do have some sexual dimorphism. Not extreme, but, you know, females do tend to be a bit smaller.
Yeah, but, like, no one's really scared of Papa Bear.
No, because they just kind of do their thing. Now, Mama Bear will kill you. Like, 100%, without question.
So, like...
So maybe, like, if they got advanced to the point where they're actually, like, forming a society, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a matriarchal society. Just because the females would probably be the only ones willing to actually take that kind of responsibility.
I suppose, yeah. But also, you'd have to wonder, like, it would be an ever-shifting, because, of course, it's about population.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So, like, would there be some sort of, like, hierarchy, or would there just be, like, ever-shifting, like... Talk about a shifting political landscape, right?
Right? It would just be a constant change. But then this is also assuming that they want to form any sort of complex society, and that they wouldn't want to just return to the forest to be bears and live the life that they're, like, you know, meant to live.
I guess.
I mean, I know I'd like to just run off into the woods and live away from society, except I've gotten used to electricity and I quite appreciate it.
Well, I also wonder if perhaps they might end up with something more like a Romani thing. Right?
Yeah.
Where basically they have these small roving
Communities,
groups,
yeah.
that aren't really known to any specific nationality.
That's true. They could be modern nomads, essentially.
Yeah. And then the question is, would modern society accept that? Would the human society be like, okay, look, these roving, tribes of bears are,
I mean, humanity right now can't even accept its own kind for being a little bit different. You really think they're going to just accept these roving communities of bears? Already, if a single bear starts getting into people's trash too often, it gets dranked and moved. Well,
I'm just wondering if these global states would accept the sovereignty of these bears.
See, I would think probably not, unless they got powerful enough that it had to be recognized, that you literally could not safely discriminate against the bears.
Yeah, and I feel like our armies are too advanced for that.
Yeah, unless the bears also get some more advanced, combat.
Yeah, just, special forces trains bears.
Right? Bear with a gun.
Bear with a gun.
Bear with a gun.
Or several.
Would they start wearing clothes?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, I can't imagine they would. Why would you wear clothes, especially if you got fur covering up all the important bits?
Right? If you had clothes on top of that, it's just going to get too warm.
Also, bears aren't, dumb like humans. Their stuff's not all just kind of hanging out in the air.
That's true, yeah.
Also, how does some of this stuff work with paws? They don't have,
Yeah, they don't have opposable thumbs. But, okay, well, that brings us back to the bear slavery. How would they hold the tools?
We'd have to make special tools for the bears that they could, actually use. Although, they might not even need tools if you think about it, because things like digging, they can literally just take their big old paws and, through the dirt.
I suppose, yeah, but, how are they going to handle plants?
That's a good question.
Unless we made them psychic bears.
Oh, see, that's just a whole other can of worms right there.
Well, that's the thing. If you think we elevate the intelligence of these bears.
By the way, we're talking about black bears. That was the original, bear of conversation, just because they're a little less dangerous and a little more trainable than, a grizzly or a polar bear.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We were thinking black bears.
Yeah, black bears are a little smaller, a little more timid, a little less, I'm gonna bite your face off. They still can. Black bears are still dangerous. Do not approach.
Don't pet black bears. They look fuzzy and friend-shaped, but they are not.
Yeah. Honestly, why are bears friend-shaped? Why is something so dangerous friend-shaped? If danger, why those ears? Sorry, that's off topic.
We're talking about the Society of Psychic Black Bears.
This is true.
I think.
I just had to throw in, if dangerous, why ears? Because they're just so cute.
That's true. They are. This actually seems like a good point at which to, kind of break off for a second and talk about our Patreon.
Oh, yeah. So if you listened to the last episode / first episode, you would know that we were talking about starting a Patreon, specifically where you could either pay to have us keep going to support what we're doing here if you enjoy it, or you can pay to shut us up. Either way, you get early access to episodes, you get access to our Discord that we put together for this. It's pretty cool.
You can even join the Discord without paying us.
This is true.
But you won't get as much out of it, though.
Yeah, if you pay us, you get access to more Discord stuff. Makes it cooler.
Yeah. And if you are one of the first people on the Discord, you get our undivided attention.
This is true, because right now, we don't have a lot else to pay attention to. And we are not overloaded with people. So now's a good time to get in and actually, get to talk to us a bit.
Yeah.
see pictures of my pet lizard, Morgan. There's already one there.
So, join our Discord, Alex and Tori Unfiltered. Join our Patreon, Alex and Tori Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Listen to our podcast, wherever you hear podcasts.
Yep. Release schedule is going to be Tuesday, very early morning, 3 a.m. our time, which is mountain time in the U.S., so adjust as needed.
Wow, way to dox us.
I mean, that's a pretty big time zone. They don't know where in that time zone we are.
Yeah, we could be Canadian. We're talking about black bears, eh? So join our Patreon, join our Discord. You don't have to pay to join the Discord. And if you're the first, you will have our undivided attention. You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
Very sorry. Are you sorry?
You're sorry.
So back to bears.
Right, so this then begs the question. I mean, we're talking about a, modern day enslavement of bears. What if we were talking about I don't know necessarily prehistoric, but an early enslavement of bears?
See, I feel like it depends on how that would have happened. If they were actually making the bears smarter and turning them into a society to rival humans, then that could be interesting. At this point, we would have probably some integration of bear and human society. If it was something more like how we started training dogs, then we basically just have pet bears.
Yeah, I'm not talking domestication of bears. Although, early humanity, you were cowards. Bears would have been way better than dogs.
Right? Also, you didn't have to give the dogs, I forgot what it's called, but they're always happy, which is fun, but, there's something wrong with that.
Right? They're a little bit pathetic. But bears?
That would have been cool, guys.
Think of the bear hugs, the big bear piles at the end of your bed.
Right? We'd have to have made bigger beds as a society to fit our bears. Can you imagine getting to share, a double king-size bed with your pet bear? That'll keep you warm at night.
Right.
Also, by the way, we're not disparaging dogs. We do like dogs. Just,
Oh, absolutely.
Bears would have been cooler.
Bears would have been way cooler. And I don't think anyone can disagree with that. Although, if you disagree, go to our Discord and tell us.
Yeah.
In fact, any of these, if you disagree with anything we say, join our Discord and tell us.
Yeah.
And if you're tired of hearing our nonsense, then join our dislike, hate, or really hate tiers on Patreon, and you can shut us up.
Potentially. If you're willing to put in more than the people who apparently want us to keep going.
Yeah. So get those hate dollars in soon.
And remember, it's a month-by-month deal. Anyway, that's enough self-advertisement. You guys don't want to hear that.
Honestly, I was thinking just resetting it each week.
Each week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could do each week.
So, if it's, above for 1 week, you don't get the episode.
Yeah. We'll still make it. You just have to wait an extra week to get it, basically.
Yeah.
Or however long it takes before the people who like us win out again.
Yeah. Let the great patron wars begin. Either way, you do still get the early access. So, you also get specific hate Discord channels.
Yeah.
Where you and other people who also hate us can talk about whatever it is you guys talk about.
Yeah, however much you don't like us. Don't want you to spend your time on that, but feel free if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna take that away from you.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us what your ideas of what a bear society would look like.
Right? We want to know, especially if anyone out there actually, has some knowledge about bears. If someone out there's, a bear-centric biologist, please tell me how you think the bears would evolve.
Oh, 1,000%. If you have a pet bear or a bear who just kind of likes to hang out with you, tell us. Send us pictures. We want to see them.
Absolutely. I want to know from people who actually know about bears why we're wrong. Because I want to know, I want to know.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
Please. Because being wrong brings more knowledge. And I never opposed to more knowledge.
Yeah, usually. Some knowledge is weird and should be forbidden, but that's not my call to make. It should still be out there.
It should. And bears are not one of those things.
No, I want to know all about bears.
Please.
I think. Although I used to think I wanted to know all about ducks, and I was wrong.
Yeah, ducks are, you don't want to know about the ducks. If you don't know about the ducks, you don't want to know about the ducks.
Yeah, the less you know about ducks, the happier you are.
Yeah. And to those of you who know about the ducks, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, don't tell them. Okay? You shouldn't have told us, but you did.
And now we're telling you, you don't want to know.
All right, everyone, that's our show for this week. Again, Patreon, Discord.
Bears.
Come talk with us about bears.
Yeah.